Because of the environmental pollution of the planet, the government decided to take cruel measures. 20% of humanity was settled in an area suitable for human existence. A wall was erected around the area, behind which the remaining 80% were evicted. Events unfold 30 years after the installation of the new order. Early in the morning, a teenager named Noah walks through the ruined slums. Here, right on the street, the people living behind the wall are sleeping. He feels the neck of one of them and realizes that he died of hypothermia. After seeing a bottle of clean water belonging to some woman, Noah steals it. The robbed woman lunges at him, but a knife is put to her neck by the boy's mother named Isya, so the woman has to retreat. Isya and Noah hear a siren call for everyone to come to the checkpoint. The government holds a big lottery that allows people to go to the other side of the wall and gain access to jobs and quality food. While people on one side have to survive, many of the residents living in the comfort of the wall are simply bathed in luxury. A man named Reuben rushes his daughter Mael to collect her old clothes, for her collector is coming soon. Otherwise, the man will have to pay a fine. The girl is mute. The father sets a high degree of brain training on a special device in his daughter's room, which is used in this world instead of school, and leaves. Reuben and his wife, Thais, arrive at the Aquaville company in charge of water production and purification. Any minute now, Prime Minister Nadia Pizarro is scheduled to make a statement and all employees are ordered to listen to her speech. Television reports say that the state succeeded in freeing Minister of Labor Monroe Moretti from captivity today. He had gone behind the wall to personally present prizes to winners of the lottery for the unemployed but was taken hostage by a group of radicals. It took a long 13 months to negotiate with them for the officials' return. It is over the wall that Nadia goes to meet the man and make an important announcement. This event is truly historic because before that the Prime Minister had not left the civilized territory for more than 10 years. Nadia's car, escorted by security, pulls out behind the wall. Excited people are already standing there, among them Isya and her son. While the Prime Minister takes the stage, Reuben and the rest of the Aquaville staff are watching breathlessly on the TV screens. Nadia recounts how, as a child, her parents used to bring her to the park where she played with other children. Even though the children were from different social backgrounds, they didn't feel it, spending time together. After the wall was built, the park was destroyed, but the woman has not given up hope of rebuilding it. During the liberation of the Minister of Labor, the Prime Minister managed to contact the rebels and negotiate a truce. Thanks to this, Nadia was able to find funds to create new jobs for the first time in 20 years. The lottery will give jobs to 10,000 unemployed people from behind the wall. This social project was called Solidarity Participation, and according to the woman, it will develop society in the right way. The rebels release the Minister of Labor. Nadia tells the man to say how well he has been treated. The woman turns to the crowd and says that as of tomorrow, each family will take on one worker. Nadia and Monroe get in the car. The news reports that the president of the World Bank has expressed his joy over the minister's release and welcomes the Solidarity Project. Nadia says she had no choice since the World Bank refused to pay for the state budget after Monroe was kidnapped, so she had to look for a solution. The woman reports that otherwise, they would all have had a hard time, as many companies, including Aquaville, are taking big losses. While the unemployed wait to see who gets the chance to be on the other side of the wall, the kids go to class. A teacher tells them about the origin of the French word travail, which means work. It comes from the Latin word tripalium, an instrument used to torture unruly slaves. The tripalium was 3 sticks crossed to which a slave was tied, and then his limbs were torn off. Noah says incredulously that this is not true and that work does not involve suffering. 13 years ago his father won the lottery and went over the wall, gaining access to a normal life. The teacher explains that since the beginning of the 21st century, the number of unemployed people kept rising until it reached 80%. They started to be considered useless. And since no one knew what to do with them, the government simply separated them from the rest by building a wall. The only question was exactly why it was necessary to work to justify one's existence and right to be a person. Reuben walks out into the hallway and sees that his boss is dead. He immediately calls his father and says he wants to apply for his job. His father Silas, meanwhile, talks to the doctor. The man is suffering from a loss of consciousness caused by a disease. This means he will soon be unable to work and will find himself on the other side of the wall. He knows that Reuben is a regular employee, which means he won't be able to support him. But after receiving a call from his son, Silas realizes that something can be done. Isya, who has won the job, is being interviewed. Another girl is standing next to her and the hiring staff tells her that there is only one job. Isya says that the other girl is taking drugs. Despite her attempts to justify herself, the girl is taken away and Isya gets the job. Everyone who is now employed is given a number on their arm. Thais enters the data on her tablet and is notified that she has been 46 minutes late in the past week in total, which characterizes her as an ineffective employee. She meets her lover Hans in the bathroom and tells him that there is no way she can get into Silas' office, who holds one of the management positions at Aquaville. Hans plans to leak all of the company's secret data to a competitor, then run away together from the city to take a new job. Tais fears that if she is caught, she will be fired and sent over the wall. Hans reassures her and tells her everything will work out. Tais sits down to work again and is notified that she is working too slowly. Her emotional state is getting worse and worse. Monroe talks to the head of security. The man tells her that he was tortured in captivity. She asks if he gave away information about the government army while tortured, and Monroe answers no. After class, Noah talks to his teacher. He is afraid that his mother will stay behind the wall and not return once he gets a job. The teacher sends him to the storeroom and the boy sees an unknown girl stealing something from a drawer. He tries to stop her, but she deftly jumps out the window and runs across the rooftops. The girl says her name is Volley and blows him a kiss. Nadia tells Monroe that he must get to work as quickly as possible and convince the rest of the government that he is okay. Moreover, the man must convince everyone that he has gained a better understanding of the inhabitants of the area beyond the wall during his year in captivity. When the Minister of Labor leaves, his daughter Zoya, who has been replacing her father in office for a year, shows up. She is not thrilled that Monroe has to start work so quickly, because he still has to be tested by a lie detector, but Nadia thinks he can do it. Noah meets Izya, who happily says she's been hired. He hugs his mother and she tells him that in 4 months she will be able to save enough money to go south together. Somewhere in the south, the boy's father is missing and he sets out to find him. Reuben watches the Minister of Labor's press conference on the occasion of his return from captivity. He says that while in captivity he talked a lot with the rebels and was able to convince them that the developed society behind the wall is having problems as well. Tais shows up with a grim look on her face. She says that Silas hasn't spoken to them in a long time, which means that Reuben won't get his place as their superior. According to Tais, their daughter will not be able to get into a prestigious college and will go over the wall after high school. Maëlle stands in the hallway and hears her mother say that it would be better to get rid of her and have a new baby. Reuben goes to his daughter and tells her that her mother is just stressed and should not pay attention to what she says. He also tells her that a man from the zone will be working in their house and gives Maëlle a taser for self-defense. He gets a call from Silas and a few minutes later goes to meet his father. Reuben tells Silas that he wants to apply for the department head position. The man notes that Reuben has an extremely positive profile, but Tais is getting closer and closer to being fired. Silas is even willing to arrange for him and his wife to meet with the CEO so that Reuben can perform at his best. The man promises to support Reuben, but he must not disappoint him. Meanwhile, Hans meets with the head of security. He says that tomorrow Tais Garcia will bring the necessary data, so she must arrange for him to leave the city. She tells him that she has already made arrangements with both the soldiers and the rebels, so he will be able to get through the wall without any problems. Reuben comes to Tais and tells him that his father will help him with his promotion, but that they need to report to the ministry tomorrow for an appointment. The woman says she needs to meet with Silas beforehand to do this. Reuben says he will try to arrange a meeting for her. Izya goes through the checkpoint and boards the bus that will take her to her place of work. Noah looks sadly in her wake. The bus pulls up behind a wall and the window reveals well-kept houses and clean streets. The announcer's voice announces that each worker has a plan for the city that they can use to get to their employer. They are forbidden to move freely through the city and must return home before midnight. Anyone who stays overnight in the city will be excluded from the list of workers. Damaging or stealing their employer's property will result in expulsion and punishment. Izya arrives at Garcia's house and informs her that she has come to work. Tais rudely closes the door in front of her and goes to tell her husband that there is a man from the zone in the hallway. Reuben invites Izya inside and says he doesn't know what to do with her, since other people are already cleaning the house. He does take her into Maëlle's room and orders her to pick up some toys that need to be returned. The girl clings to her doll and won't give it back, so Reuben roughly takes it away and throws it toward the toy box. Izya looks thoughtfully at the abandoned doll. She asks the girl to help her with opening drawers, even though she pointed a taser at her. Eventually, the little girl helps her. Stacking the toys, she takes the doll and hides it under the blanket on the girl's bed. Tais and Reuben come to work. The man says that the sanitation worker looks like Tais, but the woman waves him off, saying that he dare not even compare them. The woman comes to Silas for a chat but is stopped by the security officer and told that Tais needs to undergo a special examination. Hans, who works as the head of finances, has changed the rules a bit. Tais leaves to go somewhere. A toy collector comes to the Garcia family home. The man sees Izya and gets angry, saying that he, unlike the rest of them, deserves the job. He spits in her face before leaving. Reuben receives notice that Tais has left her post. He tries to call his wife, but she does not answer. When he arrives home, he doesn't find her either, and there are only 2 hours left before the ministerial reception. Reuben makes a risky decision and asks Izya, who is already on her way back to the zone, to replace his wife. That's the end of the story. Thank you all for watching. What movie would you like to see next? Let me know in the comments. See you all next